Hello, it is Foundation Friday, June 17th, 2022. Steve Sipress here, getting out here a little bit earlier than usual today to record my daily Facebook Live video, just as I've been doing since about the middle of March 2017, a little over 5.25 years ago, or around there. And the painting crew is here. So check it out. They have taped up everything. So we got even tape on the lights, the fans, the windows, the doors, the patio. I mean, they're taping the ground, they're taping the home, moving all the plants all over the place. Everything is kind of crazy out here right now, and hopefully they're done kind of soon. And they can take this tape down. I had to go out the front door to walk all the way around the back because doors were all taped up. Pretty soon they're going to tape up all the front doors. They're doing that now. They're going to get into the front. So we'll have a newly painted home very soon. But okay, let's get into it. Last week we started in Chapter 8 on the fantastic foundational book, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David J. Schwartz. If you haven't run out and got yourself a copy of this or gone to some online place and got a copy, what are you waiting for? Someone first encouraged me to get a copy of this book decades ago. I don't know, almost certainly over 30 years ago, and almost instantly changed my life for the better. And I've gone through it over and over and given out copies to many people and helped them, and everyone has the same response. Fantastic book. Changed my life in a big positive way. So you can follow along with me. We're about a little over halfway through the book, little by little, or you can just go get yours, and by the end of the weekend, I have a feeling you'll have torn through it, and then you have stuff to work on and work on and work on until it becomes ingrained. Speaking of which, here we're talking about Chapter 8 is Make Your Attitude Your Allies, and last week, Dr. Schwartz shared with us 3 attitudes you want to grow. And we'll talk about the first one here, growing the attitude of I'm activated. For the other 2, you ought to go back to last Foundation Friday, wherever you're watching or reading or listening to this, and check out that video, or again, get yourself a copy of the book. But I'm activated really means I'm enthusiastic. And as Dr. Schwartz put it, enthusiasm is simply saying this is great about whatever or whomever or wherever you are talking about or thinking about or being. And so he gives a few examples, and I'll give you a few examples of my own instead of using his. We've all been in class. For me, it's been a while, but I went to way too much schooling, got my law degree, so I wasn't officially completely done with schooling until I was 25 years old. How stupid was that? But anyway, I was stupid. I was young and dumb and went to too much schooling. But anyway, I've been in plenty of classes, and now there are online classes or webinars. People are checking their emails, or back in the in-person classes or events, they're out in the hall, or they're checking their phones, or they're doodling, or they're falling asleep, or they're having conversations, or chit-chatting. Man, I was sent to the principal's office constantly for interrupting and making trouble. I was so bored in these classes. Like, was that really my fault? Or could it possibly have had something to do with the teacher or the professor or whoever's running the webinar or the seminar or the training or whatever, that they are not exciting, they're not enthusiastic? We talked about it last week, one of my favorite Zig Ziglar quotes, the great salesman and sales trainer Zig Ziglar, who said sales is the transfer of enthusiasm. It's what it is. So before you can transfer enthusiasm about your company, yourself, your product, your service, whatever it is you're selling to your prospect, well, the first sale you need to make is to yourself. You need to be enthusiastic. You have to gain enthusiasm. So here is a 3-step procedure that will help you to develop the power of enthusiasm, because as Dr. Schwartz shares with us, results come in proportion to enthusiasm applied. And we're going to go through number 1 here, and we'll cover the next 2 next week. But the first one is to dig into it deeper. Dig deeper. Dr. Schwartz encourages us to think of 2 things in which we have little or no interest. Whatever hobby. Maybe you don't have interest in a certain type of music, or a certain genre of literature, or certain type of movies. My beautiful wife Michelle will never watch a horror movie. Once in a while. or by mistake or something, it's not that much of a horror movie. But it's got to be daytime, though. We'll watch with the lights on, but still, no horror movies. So she has little or no interest in horror movies. Whatever it is for you, pick 2 of them, Dr. Schwartz says. Now ask yourself, how much do I really know about these things? Odds are 100 to 1 that your answer is not much. Okay, so the number one test, as I always have trouble turning the book with one hand, and today we've got a nice little breeze here. Maybe you can tell by the trees swaying behind me, a little wind chill factor. So the temps will get up to, close to 115 today, 112, 113, something like that. But with the wind chill, doesn't really cool it off a lot, but it does blow around a lot of hot air. Anyway, I digress. So the exercise is to dig deeper, to get enthusiastic, learn more about the thing and the things you are not enthusiastic about. So, give you an example. Have you ever, been skimming around the channels and you turned on, you got to the Discovery or the Nature of the Animal channel or whatever they call it, and you end up being glued to a 1-hour documentary on some bizarre animal you never heard of, or some ridiculous rare caterpillar, or some zebra from somewhere or whatever, and I'm like, man, I just watched that whole thing, and suddenly I'm interested. Now I'm enthusiastic about that zebra that's endangered and this and the whatever. I mean, how about cars? Now, I've never been a car guy. Car is to get from one place to the other, but I know people are totally into cars. What kind of car is that? And get it souped up and this, and I've got a classic car and I collect cars and whatever. Well, friend way back, I think it was in high school, took me to the car show. He was a car guy. And I said, I'll go with you. And we went to the car show in New York City, in Columbus Circle, the Javits Center. More famously used as an unused, pretty much, COVID hospital during the fake false panic days when they weren't giving people treatments. They were just letting people die, and so they were just building temp hospitals. That Jacob Javits Center was one of them. But that's where the car show was back then. I don't know if it's still there. And suddenly I found myself interested in cars for a time being. I didn't keep it up, so I reverted back to where I am now, not a car guy. But I remember for a little bit after that show, I was really into the newest models and what were coming out, and the newest features and what was going on with the cars. And when I saw an ad or I saw something in a magazine or a TV ad, I was like, oh yeah, see, I was interested because I dug into it deeper, right? So use that, dig into it deeper, to get enthusiastic. Learn more about the thing you're not enthusiastic about. Second of all, you can use the dig into it deeper technique to develop enthusiasm towards other people. Find out all you can about another person. Easier than ever now with social media. Before I have an important meeting with somebody or talking to a prospect or a potential business partner or anything, I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to be checking them out. Or somebody sends me a friend request. I accept all of them. I start a conversation. I go to their page. I see their posts and watch their videos or see what they're all about. I want to dig deeper and find out about that person. As Dr. Schwartz teaches us, find out all you can about another person, what he does, his family, his background, his ideas, his ambitions, and you'll find your interest and enthusiasm towards him is mounting. Keep digging and you're certain to find some common interests. Keep digging and you'll eventually discover a fascinating purchase. I learned this a long time ago. It's almost impossible, at least for me, to not like someone that I've met. So take a politician, for instance. They're almost all vile characters. I mean, that's their job, is to lie. And so, they don't serve us. They serve their donors and themselves, and of course, that's what they do. And so they're very unlikable. However, you meet him in person, like, oh man, he's actually charming and good. Of course, how do you think he got to be a senator or a congressman or the president or whatever, right? So tough to not like someone if you keep digging and really find out all you can about them. The dig into a deeper technique works also in developing enthusiasm towards new places. Okay, there's one way to build enthusiasm towards a new location. Simply resolve to dig into the new area. Learn all you can about it. Mix with the people. Make yourself feel and think like a community citizen from the very first day. Do this and you'll be enthusiastic about a new environment. This works if you're moving somewhere, and it works even on a trip. I remember when my beautiful wife Michelle and I got married, it's almost 19 years ago, and we went on our honeymoon for 2 weeks to the fantastic, outrageously beautiful, spectacular Caribbean island of St. Lucia, which I still love to this day. But I remember for weeks, months before it, when we planned the trip, I mean, the internet 2003, so it wasn't, quite what it is now, but man, we were watching videos and we got books on it, I remember, and on the plane on the way going through these tour guide books and what to see and where to go. And man, then when we got there, we got immersed in the area. We didn't go to just the tourist places. We went to a couple. But for the most part, we went to mix with the locals, with the people. And they are fantastic people. I mean, nothing personal if you're not from the Caribbean, and if you're from the U.S. instead, but can't hold a candle. I can't. Nobody can. These people are born to understand that tourism is like where all the money comes from. And so they are warm, outgoing. They're everything I'm not. They're warm, outgoing, friendly, extrovert. I mean, you know, great people and just joyous. I just remember that. But like, we had to make it a point to go to local restaurants, to go to local celebrations and events. Even when we went to play golf and they assigned us a couple of caddies, I'm talking to the caddies and find out what they're all about and where they're from and all that, right? So we had so much fun for 2 weeks. I don't think we went to the same place twice. We went to all different restaurants. We drove all around the island. We went to all different beaches, we played golf at 2 different courses and there. We did just always a new place and always got us more and more enthusiastic about it. So that's another principle from Dr. Schwartz. How to gain enthusiasm is dig deep and learn as much as you can about it. So, in conclusion, to get enthusiasm about anything, people, places, things, dig into it deeper. Dig into it deeper and you'll develop enthusiasm. Put this principle to work next time you must do something you don't want to do. Put this principle to work next time you find yourself becoming bored. Just dig in deeper and you dig up interest. And that is number 1 of the 3 steps to being activated, to gaining more enthusiasm. We'll cover number 2 and 3 next time on next Foundation Friday in the fantastic foundational book, The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David J. Schwartz. I'm getting a little woozy out here because they just did this painting yesterday. The painters are here again today, and the fumes are kind of getting me out here. So I'm going to have to go all the way around the front to get back inside my own house because they have taped over the back doors and we can't get in or out. So hopefully they're getting done soon and they'll finish up and we'll have a beautiful exterior paint job on the house that'll last for years. In the meantime, you enjoy the rest of your Foundation Friday. Thanks for being here today live. I can't see anything on the screen, a lot of glare, but thanks if you're here. Thanks for all the likes, shares, comments, all that kind of stuff, subscriptions. Thanks for watching on the replay if that's what you're doing. And I'll catch you back here again tomorrow on Social Media Saturday. Over and out. Bye-bye.